Hello Flosstube. Today is Tuesday the 24th of March 2026 and this is Flosstube number 59. I'm Lindsay, Cheshire Stitcher, both here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Welcome to my channel. Mostly it's about cross stitch, but I do share other crafts, usually beading, and yes, I've got a bit of that for you today, but I've also got something else to show you today. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. It's lovely to see you again, and a very warm welcome if you are one of the 25 new subscribers I've had since my last video. I'm not far off, with 35 away now from 1,000. When I hit that 1,000 and I stay over it, there will be a giveaway. If you are new here and you haven't done so already, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and any others of mine you may watch or may have already watched, and maybe even hit that subscribe button. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm, but I don't know how it works. I haven't got the faintest idea. Right, admin bit's done. So today I have got 2 finishes, I have got a new start, I have got some temperature stitching, I've got some PhDs. I've written plans on my list, but I don't really have any. I've got my bit of beading. We're going to do the draw for my temperature stitching in April, and I have some stash enhancement. I'm looking down because my notes are down here in front of me on the table, so I do apologise. Whilst I am thinking about it as well, my next video will be Monday the 6th of April, which is Easter Monday. As it stands at the moment, unless my partner's day off changes, in which case it'll either be the 5th or the 7th, but at the moment he's off on Easter Sunday, so I will be here recording. Pardon me. And if you are new here, I don't refer to my projects as whips, which is a work in progress. Mine are PhDs, which is a potential happy dance, because we all do a happy dance when we finish something, whether it's a little yay or you've just finished something huge or something that's taken you years to do and you have a little boogie around the living room. So we all do a happy dance of some description when we finish. So there we go. Right, first up, I've remembered it this time, my book of days. There we go. I was very kindly gifted this by Elaine, Ellie Welly Stitcher, at the start of the year at Cheshire Stitchers. So there we go. Obviously, when I come back in April, I'll show you the remains of March and can tell you how many PhDs I finished the month with. I don't like big gaps, so like here, I only worked on the one project, so I put a sticker in. I don't know. I just don't like a big gap. I just have a look and see what I fancy. But there we go. There is my book of days so far. If you watched last time, I mentioned about having superhero stickers when I do something with the boys. Well, this was Spencer's birthday and I didn't put a superhero sticker in. I completely forgot about it. So I've put one in now, and then I went back and did one for Elliot's birthday, because we did stuff with them on their birthday. We only went out for a meal, but that's fine. I'm doing well. I've remembered my board as well. I know. Right, so my finishes. First one, spring. This was a cotton and twine box back in March 2023. I bought it as a pass box. It came out for temperature stitching quite soon after my last video. No, it wasn't. It was second week, about a week after my last video. So I did my 100 stitches on it, and I'm sat looking at it and I'm thinking, do you know what? There's not a lot left. I think I'll take that with me to the Cheshire Stitchers day, the extra day we had on last Saturday. Every couple of months we have an extra day at Hellsby Community Centre. So I took this with me. Didn't expect to get it finished, because you know what it's like on a stitchy day. You're too busy chatting and having a look at what other people are doing and perusing the sales table. Yes, I did. Perusing the freebie table. Yeah, I did. And so I thought, I'm not going to get it finished. But I did. Quite surprised myself. And I was also quite surprised when I'd counted up my stitches at the end of the day that I actually had 290 stitches left to do. So it could have come out another 3 times on temperature stitching. I wasn't to know. It just looked like there wasn't a lot left. So yeah, I didn't, like I say, I didn't think I would get it completed, but I did. And it's one of those ones, had to be in the right frame of mind, because there's one stitch there, so start a thread, stop a thread, one stitch, start a thread, stop a thread, one stitch in here, start a thread, stop a thread. So I have to be in the right frame of mind for that. But there we go. So that is my 8th finish of the year. I started it on the 11th of January last year, and it was number 3 in my 25 in 25. I switched the fabric from 16 count Aida to 32 count. I'm assuming it's a Murano. I didn't check, it's usually Murano with me, because I'm not a fan of Aida. I don't know, there are lots of people that love it. I just personally don't like it. So there we go. When I have got the other seasons to do, and I think when I come to do them, I'm going to cut the fabric a bit bigger, because it fits lovely in the hoop, but it's not quite wide enough. So I think when I cut the fabric, I will just cut it that little bit bigger. I will do the other ones, but I don't know when. And my other finish, now this was started on Friday the 13th of February. Again, I changed the fabric. It was a kit. My daughter gave me the kit a few years ago. There we go. It's a heritage kit. Came with 14 count Aida. Like I've said, I'm not a fan of Aida. So I switched it to a piece of 32 count antique white. And I switched the pinks to lilacs and purples. So all of this here was done in pink, and all of these letters here in, I'm not a pink girl. So I finished this on Sunday morning, I think it was. As you can see, it needs a bath, as does spring. But there we go. This was, I don't know if I've already said this was number 4 of my 26 in 26. And it also works out to be the 4th finish of my 26 in 26. So there we are. And it's number 9 overall of finishes. So that's those two. Now, my new start. I did tell you about this in my plans last time round. is this. It was a advent gift off Jeanette last year, and I thought, oh, okay. I moved something the other day and it kind of fell out of a pile, and I thought, okay, that'll do. I'll do that. Well, not the other day, last month. I thought, yeah, okay, fine. I'll do that for my March ornament. So I took it with me to beading group yesterday, and if I'd taken the right frame, I'd taken the little, you know, the magnetic frames. I bought mine from Create. But Talking Dog Stitchery also does them. If I'd taken the rectangular one, it might have been finished. But there we go. I've just got his head to do. So he may be a finish later today. Thoroughly enjoyed him. For years and years and years, I've always gone, I'm not doing Mill Hill kits. One, because the Mill Hill beads are not that good. But mostly because holding a piece of perforated paper hurts. It's uncomfortable. And your thread gets caught constantly. Well, now I've got all the little frames, I'm whizzing through him. I've only worked on him 4 times, I think. So I may well finish him today. And this little case is actually, it's ideal for carting around very small projects, but it's actually for a diabetic blood monitor. My dad had several of these. So that is sticky under there, which is why I've left the plastic on it. But it's great. Everything fits in ever so nicely. And then I have a sticky board to work on. So that's my new start. Pardon me. Oh dear. This is the second time I've recorded this. I forgot my iPad to show you previous pictures before, and I'd made it 2 minutes before I got Flosstube or itchy nose. Well, this time I haven't had the itchy nose, and I've made it 12.5 minutes before I've burped, which, if you watch me all the time, I can't help it. It's nature. At least it comes out the attic and not the basement. Right, so on to temperature stitching. First up, you can no longer buy this chart, unfortunately. This is Teresa Wentzler's Sun Dragon. She pulled all her dragons a few years ago. There you go, better picture. I bought this chart way back in 2007. So there we go. That's what it's going to look like when he is finished. So he's been out twice. I have my list in front of me. So I am using .32 Vintage Sky and the called for DMCs, and I've subbed number 28 number 4 braid for 202 high luster 4 braid, number 4 braid, because I didn't have it, so it's a gold is gold. I started it 16th of July last year, and I started it for the hashtag Dragon Stitch for Mum that Lynn the Lancashire Stitcher started after she'd had a rather horrible comment. So, nearly forgot. Last time you saw him, I just need to get the pictures to load and find him. Where is it? Where is it? Come on. Oh, don't tell me I didn't actually take one. it would appear, oh yes I did, there he is. So last time you saw him, he looked like that. Although I think that might be wrong, but never mind. Not a lot I can do about it now. And here he is now. So his tail is complete. I did a little bit more on him than I'd planned to do last time I picked him up, because literally I was doing the back stitch on his tail, and I reached my 100 stitches and I was like, do you know what, I'm just gonna keep going, because I'd done all around the edge and I'd done this. I only had the bit in the centre to do. So there we are. I started having trouble fitting him in the frame, so I stitched some scraps around the edge. So there he is now. So, you never know. Depends how many more times he comes out. I've still got a fair bit to do on him though. So we will see how we get on. And he's stored in an M&S biscuit tin. I bought it because it had a Union flag on it. So next, sorry about that, just got a message. Come on, where are you? You're here somewhere. I know you are, I've seen you. Sorry, getting distracted by the messages. There we go. So this one I don't have a cover picture for. This was a stitch along back in 2023 from Cotton Crafts Club. I can never remember that. It came out one part a week. I made a start and then didn't finish him, because by then I had the commission piece, so he got ignored. Sorry, I'm just writing down. I can't remember if I told you that the Book of Days was a gift from Elaine, Ellie Welly Stitcher, at the beginning of the year. So Cotton Club Crafts, there we go. So that was last time you saw him, and he has come out twice. So here he is now. Let me get me better. I actually remembered my better card. I started him on the 9th of July 2023 using the called for DMCs. It was Christmas in July stitch along, and it's a blue, sort of a bluey grey oops linen. I think it's a country stitch one. So there we go. I don't particularly like working on him, and I don't know why. But I thought if I put him in my temperature stitching, he was a replacement, but I can't remember what for now. He'll get some progress. So there we are now. And as I say, he's come out twice. So far this month, number 6, The Dreaming, is the only thing that hasn't made an appearance. Whether it will or not, I don't know. So, next. Next one that came out Morning coffee from Stitch Rovia. So last time you saw it, nope, that's Ginger. I've lost my picture now. It looked like that. So, and I have some stats for this. So I am at 2,589 stitches of 3,158, which is 81.98%. Now, that obviously doesn't include the back stitch. I've still got a bit left. So, I started this on the 10th of April last year. 32 count clotted cream linen, and they're called 4 DMCs, and it was number 8 of my 25 and 25. And at the start of this year, on the 1st of January, I was at 52.75%. So, I do apologise for that clunk before. It was the key ring hitting my board. So here it is now. And I've checked the temperatures today, and this is the called for project for today. So when I've finished recording and I've tidied up, if I have time before I go to the dentist this afternoon, I will get today's stitches in on it. Otherwise I'll do it when I come home. So there we go. So obviously I've started the spoken. So there we go. That's that one. Did I say it's come out once? I don't know. Next one that's come out, and it's only come out once, is oh, where's my little picture gone? There it is. That one. Merry Christmas. Freebie from Hello from Liz Matthews. I picked it up at the Jingle Ball in 23, I think. And she originally did it in black. I didn't want to do that. I'm writing things down as I'm going so that I don't have to watch it back. So I started it on the 17th of July last year, and it was number 17 of my 25. I'm using 40 count Newcastle linen and sulky threads. So last time you saw it, it looked like that. That fabric doesn't look very white there, but it is. And here it is now. That border takes some stitching. It's quite a simple border. It's a very easy pattern to do, but boy, I get fed up with it. So I decided I would do a bit of red this time. So there it is. It's not that far off the finish now, really. So I've got another reindeer to do. I've got a couple of trees to do, the border to finish, and a snowflake and the Y. So depending on where it falls, it may well be a finish in the next couple of months. Depends on where it gets pulled out. And I need to try and remember not to put my bag on my board because the key ring always makes a noise. This one has a big dolphin. This was one of my mum's. It's quite a weighty one. She used to do kumihimo and she needed the weight. So, next one, this one's come out twice, is Avontail. So, 25th of August last year I started this. It's 36 count, I don't know what. I was given the leftover piece and this was number 19 of my 25 in 25. I'm using Dinky Dye Silk in the colour Black Opal. And last time you saw it, where are we? All right. Yep, last time you saw it, it looked like that. So I've done. It's not that far off again. I think it probably needs another 2, 3 temperature calls and I'll be finished. So here it is. See what I mean? Another 2, 3, probably 3, possibly 4. And it'll be done. I am enjoying it. Did I tell you it's come out twice? Well, it's come out twice since my last video. So what I did was, for the first time, was once I'd done my recording, I sort of drew a line so I could let you know how many times it's come out. So in total this month so far, this has come out 3 times. Morning Coffee has come out 4 times in total, as has Sundragon. And then, as I say, Spring came out the once and I decided to go ahead and finish it. Merry Christmas has been out twice in the month. Next, is this one, Bar Humbug. I was told I had to have a sheep's start because I said sheep's by accident. So that was the one I went for. I've done my own sulky conversion, pulled the DMCs and just kind of eyeballed it. Last time you saw him, come on, where are you? You look like that. So this has come out 3 times. Number 5. So it's been out 3 times and it's been out 3 times in total. It didn't come out earlier in the month. So that was last time you saw it. Say, doing my own sulky conversion, and I am using 36 count paper bark from Fox and Rabbit. Here we are now. So I did the other legs for the sheep. You can see I have made a start on the sheet. It doesn't show very well like this, but in real life it does. And then there's about another 5 rows down here to reach the bottom. So that's Bar Humbug so far. Pattern was a kit from You and I and Friends. Yeah, You and I and Friends. I don't think they're still going. I think they retired, but I could be wrong. Next, we have Nora Corbett's Winter Bear. Started this as a stitch along with Jeanette. I don't know when we started it. I think it was late 2024. He's only come out once. Last time you saw him, this isn't a very good picture. I do apologise. It is quite a dark picture, but he looked like that. It's nowhere near that dark. So that was the last time you saw him. And here he is now. There we go. Far more accurate a picture, that is. Much more. That's definitely more the colour. I'm using all the called for threads, and the fabric is Whole Lot of Love from Colour Cascades, and that was a gift a few years ago from a friend. 32 count Lugana. Years ago, after I'd split up with my previous partner, I was talking to a friend, and the subject of Christmas came up. I think this was about August, September, something like that. And I said, oh, well, I'm on my own this year. I'll just go to my mum and dad's. And she was like, no, you're coming and you're stopping with me. So I spent Christmas that year in the Lake District. And she gifted me the fabric. So that's my Winter Bear. He's only come out the once. All month so far. And then my last one. I just realised I didn't mark that down for yesterday. Just bear with me while I'm thinking about it. There we go. So my last one is Warm Winter Woolens. Started this last year when I went to Wales with some friends for the weekend. So I made us all a Welsh dragon bag with a bit of England at the top. Bought it donkeys years ago, already kitted up. So I'm using the called for colours. As I say, I bought it with the colours in. And I'm using 36 count Dust Bunny from Fox and Rabbit. So it got worked on yesterday. It's the one and only time it's been out this month so far. So last time you saw him, he looked like that. And if you remember, I said that if I aim for 100-ish stitches. Last time round he got 99 because I'd reached a good logical stopping point. Well, yesterday he got, what did he get yesterday? He got just over 100 yesterday. So here he is now. Yeah, 36 count Dust Bunny, Fox and Rabbit. So there we go. I am now nearly at a point where I have got to sit and work out, well, I think I've worked it out, I just need to get it down onto paper, of how I am going to put the extra L in so that it's spelt correctly, because I'm English and it needs 2 L's and not 1. Sorry. So there we go. And that's the end of the temperature stitching. Now, I should have explained this before. What I do is I look at the BBC weather app in the morning for the high temperature. So, oops, I did that without thinking. So, like today is 4, well, it's 14. So it's a 4, which means morning coffee. So you get 10 projects, assign them 0 to 9, and then you look at whatever you want to go by. So Stuart does the highest temp, you know, Stuart in Stitches, he does the high temp. Michelle, Mama Loves You GB, she goes by the low and she puts in 1 thread. You do what works for you. You know, if you want to do an hour, you do an hour. If you want to do 100 stitches, you do 100 stitches. If you want to do 1 length of thread, you do 1 length of thread. But it's up to you how it works. I decided I would give it a go last year after hearing Stuart explain it. Once I'd finished that commission piece, if you've been with me for a while, you'll know about the commission piece. If you're new, I had a big commission piece to work on that took up 90% of my stitching time for 22 months. So, yeah. So things like temperature stitching, I couldn't start at the beginning of the year and stuff like that. But, as I say, after hearing Stuart explain it, I'm off and running, and I've done well. I've finished a few projects. I've made good progress on quite a few projects. So, yeah, let's say this month the only one that hasn't come out is the Dreaming. Everything else has been out at least once. So, right. So now we move on to PhDs. But bear with me a minute, I need a quick drink. I do apologise. And yes, I know, I keep saying I don't do pink and my drink is pink, but it's rose lemonade. Can't change the colour of that. So, PhDs. First one. These are in no particular order. Is my current Love Quilt Square. So last time you saw it, no, that's not it either. Oh, come on, where have you gone? There. It looked like that. I don't have a finished picture to show you. It's a pattern that's in the Love Quilt files. Not Love Quilts. Always on the lookout for more stitchers. Always on the lookout for more quilters especially. And if you think you may have a child that qualifies for a quilt, go onto the website, fill out the form. I will put a link below, I always do, and put their name down. It has to be, they have to have some kind of illness, is the best way I can describe it. One of my grandsons has had one, he suffers with ADHD, but it has to be some sort of condition, or, you know, like cerebral palsy, or there's some that have rare conditions, and basically you put your name, you fill out the form, you put what they like. So things like superheroes is very popular, Disney princesses is very popular, and the stitchers come along and go, oh, okay, I can stitch a superhero one, and they can say, okay, I'll do Captain America. So you put your name down for Captain America, and then you're told whether or not, yes, you can do that, because sometimes somebody's said they'll do the same square as you, but they've said it earlier than you, and you've either not noticed it or the website's not updated. So to avoid double ups. But you don't have to sign up for a quilt. You can just stitch whatever you like. So yeah, I've done a few any child squares in the past, and they've all been used quite quickly. So yeah, this is, like I say, my current one. This it is in my whip parade. It's the only time I call it a whip parade. My PhD parade at the start of the year. Here it is now. So I've got about half the heart left to do, and maybe a third of the football. Next week is half term here in the UK, so I will have the boys all day on the Monday, so I will get a fair bit of it done then, because I always take a little quilt square with me. We'll end up doing other stuff as well. If it's dry, we'll take Cleo out and stuff like that, but I will get a fair bit of stitching done. But there it is so far. I think this is my 48th quilt square. I do enjoy them, and it's the only time I stitch on Ada, because we are only allowed to stitch on Ada. We can't use anything else. So next, Deadpool. Bought this last year. I was looking for Baby Groot. Came across Deadpool. My partner loves Deadpool. So I then had the stupid idea of seeing if I could finish it for his 50th birthday on the 1st of October. And I'm not even halfway yet. So I'm probably not going to make it. But that's fine. So at the moment, I am at 7,870 stitches of 56,034, which is 14.05%. It's barely been touched in the last week or two. Just had a lot of stuff going on, so I haven't done much. I still need to get around to ordering some colours that I need for him. So I do need to get my butt into gear and get them ordered, because it means I can fill a lot of gaps in. He will get some attention later today. So is that the one? So last time, is that the right one? No, it's not the right one. Last time you saw him, I'm just trying to work out when I was, yeah, I think that it must be that one. Last time you saw him, he looked like that. I think it's that one. Because I think the other picture, oh dear me. It's not that one. I'm struggling to work out which one it was, because I've got 2 or 3 pictures of him. Not good. So anyway, we'll go with that one. So I'm using the called for DMCs, and I'm using 36 count. I'm not sure if it's white or antique white, and I'm doing him 2 over 2. I know usually DMC you do 1 over 2, but I want the fullness of the colour. So there he is now. So I've done quite a lot of black on him. I do need to get my skates on. Like I say, the last couple of weeks they've just been, I've just not had a chance to work on him, or something's come up, and I've been busy, and so it's just not been worked on. I really do need to order those missing threads, because then I can get all of these gaps filled in. But I have been doing a lot of the black. I did have him in a Nerge frame, but I am now I now have him in a Q-snap, because I'm finding that easier than being restricted. The Q-snap's a lot easier to move around. So yeah, that'll get a bit of time on him today. It's just coming up for noon now, and my dentist appointment's at 3 o'clock, so I can do an hour or so on him. Next is the dreaded one. I'm not enjoying this. As much as I love our flag, I am not enjoying this. This has been done for a customer of Doodlecraft, the designers. Let me write that down. And I do pull it out and I do a bit on it, but I'm really not enjoying it. I do need to get my arse into gear and get it finished, so that I can get it out of my life. And I've only worked on it once, I think, maybe twice. Last time you saw it, it looked like that. So, yeah. So that was last time. And again, it's been done on Ada, which is one of the reasons I don't like it very much. Because it's packed with quarter stitches and half stitch. Well, half stitches are alright, but quarters and 3/4 are a pain to do on Ada. One of my viewers quite a while ago said, why don't you use a sharps needle? Which is what I've been doing, and that has made it a lot easier. But I still don't like working on it very much. I have said in the past, if you don't see this in between videos, yell at me, because I do need to get it finished. So there we are so far. We have 2 PhDs left. Put you down there. Last week I didn't have the boys on Monday. School did a afternoon tea for mums, so my daughter rearranged her hours so that she could go, and I had the boys on Friday instead. So on Monday I decided to get on the bus and go to Chester. And I went on the bus because I haven't got the stress of getting out of Chester. And it drops me in the city centre. I don't have the park and ride or anything like that to deal with. So I went on the bus. And I took some stitching with me. Took this. I started this last year for my birthday. I've done those 2 panels. And I am working on that panel there. So this was number 2 or number 3. I thought I'd written it down, but it would appear I haven't, of my 25. I'm going to count, I've counted each panel as an individual start and finish. So, sorry, itchy nose. So, I didn't get huge amounts done. Being on a bumpy bus is not the best. So, last time you saw it, it looked like that. And now, it looks like that. So, On the bus on the way there, I finished the spool off. I did the yellow spool, I hadn't done that. And on the bus on the way back, I was working on the mouse. 32 count, I'm not sure what, but it came in because I bought it as a kit and I bought the finishing kit. So there we go. That's that one. So yeah, when I've done all the stitching, mine will look like that because I have the finishing kit for it. Two to go. Saturday evening, Jeanette and I worked on Good Intentions by Kathy Barrock. We should have really done the sunflower farm. You're paying attention, Jeanette. Next time we work on a salad, we really should be doing the sunflower farm. So I started it on the 8th of March this year, which was International Women's Day. It wasn't planned like that, it just happened. This is number 5 of my 26 in 26. So I need to get my finger out and get some more of them done. I'm using 35 count Weeks Dye Works linen in the colour linen and whatever NPI I feel like using at the time. So last time you saw it, it looked like that. I fell asleep on Saturday night, so I didn't get huge amounts done. So that was last time you saw it. I am keeping a note of the NPIs I'm using. If you would like to know what they are at any point, please do let me know. I'm quite happy to share them. I am just pulling them out and going, I fancy that. So here we are now. So I completed that spool and I made a start on, let me get the picture out again. I made a start on that border there. So this border will be done in the same colours. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the lettering in the darker of the purples or I have got another even darker purple. Sorry, got hair on it. There we go. So I literally, like I say, I did the spool and started on that border because I fell asleep. That's the edge. So thoroughly enjoying it. I just need to have a look and see if I've got sort of a skin colour in a different make of silk thread, or if I am going to use DMC for the skin. There's not a lot of skin. So last PhD. Is this one? Quaker Tile, UK flag. I started it as a stitch along on Instagram, and then Kayla from Stitching with My Little showed it in her whip parade and was trying to work out how she was going to do it. So I suggested she did so many stitches a month. Well, she's actually decided that she's going to do 250 between videos, and I was like, do you know what, actually that's a really good idea. So I've done that. So last time you saw it, it looked like that. And currently I am at 8,796 stitches of 48,335, which is 18.20%. And here it is down. So basically I carried on with the white. I've got quite a lot of white to do, and I also did the dark around the tile. So there's a bit of blue here to do, which I will leave until I am well and truly fed up of working on white, with white. I think I've still got over 13,000 stitches of white to do. So my fabric is 40 count Bluetiful from Fabrics by Crafty Kate, and I am using Sulky Threads. Love it. Really enjoyed it. Last year it was the love of my stitching life, and I missed working on it. So when Kayla said about pulling hers out, I thought, do you know what, actually, because I love it so much, I am going to join you. So Lois will be happy when she watches this video, because she loves this project. She loves seeing it. And that is the end of the PhDs. So what did we have next? Plans. I don't really have any plans. I'm just going to do another 250 stitches on this, ish. I always say ish because, you know, I might get swept up and do a couple of, well, not a couple of, I'm going to do a couple of hundred, but more than that. Or I might struggle to get to 250, you never know. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to finish my ornament and decide on my ornament for April. Other than that, I'll carry on with the temperature stitching and whatever takes my fancy. So my beading. I've been carrying on with this. Dragon Egg box from Mickey Ferrugiaro. Started it a few weeks back. I showed it you in my last video. Well, I've been plodding on with it every single day. And I do apologise, there's a long thread because I started a new thread this morning. Here we are now. So last time you saw it, I was still working on this bit and it was straight up because we have to turn it over. It's a bit wonky in places, but I can live with that. And then I've started on the horns. So at the longest point, so where I've got my little 2 mils there, that row is the longest row at the moment. Well, probably will be the longest row, and there's about 150 stitches in a row. So some days I get 1, maybe 2 rows done. It depends what time I start, what time I finish, whether or not I keep getting disturbed and distracted, and but there we are at the moment. I had a route through my mum's bead stash and found more of the silver, so I didn't have to order them. I also found that she had exactly the same 2 mil ones in her stash, so I didn't have to order more of those. I will at some point need to get some more of this lighter purple though. I've got plenty of the dark one, DB04, that's my favourite. Absolute favourite colour. But I haven't quite got enough of the lighter purple one. But it will get put down at some point because I'll need to have a break from it anyway. But at the moment, we're going strong. So there we are. That is my dragon egg box. And while we're on the subject of other crafts, I forgot to show you this last time round. I was asked if I could make a thread bed. So I had a go. This is my very first thread bed. It's far, far, far from perfect, but it turned out okay. And if you watch Lynn, you'll see a couple of other ones I made for the stitching day. I took my bag of bags, but I also took some thread beds with me. My mitered corners are getting better. My straight stitching to hold this is getting better, but they're far from perfect yet. And you look at the ones that are made by professionals and they are far tidier, but it's getting there. So I've just got stars on the back. I don't use thread beds, but I'm keeping that. That's my first ever one. I'm hanging on to that. Right, so next we have the drawer for my temperature stitching. Now, because I finished spring, I am going to put in this one, which is Gathering Honey from Luminous Fibre Arts. It's because I still have the chart for that in the back of it, and that was the right way up. I've stitched this, I stitched it last year, I finished it, but I keep forgetting to take the chart out. So anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna put this one in place of spring. So I'm using a 45 count ivory Italian linen. That's all I can tell you about it because that's all the label says. Never worked on 45 count before this. And I'm using 113 Cobar from Dinky Dyes. I just wanted something honey coloured, and that's what I found when I went rooting. So it currently looks like this. So that is my replacement for spring. So left to do, I've got half a flower there, there's a bird there, and then it's border. So it would be nice to get another one off the list. Do I have a card? Oh, I didn't write a card for this. I think I started it before I started doing cards. But there we go. So that is going to be replacing spring. So we'll do the drawer, shall we? Oops. So we have my trusty tin. Before I do that, I'm just going to have a quick slurp, sorry. As ever, I'm going to write the number on the slip of paper. So my 0 for April is going to be honey. My number 1 is going to be morning coffee. My number 2 is going to be Merry Christmas. I like doing the draw because, like, this month Dreaming hasn't come out at all. Well, if that carries on to next month, I'm going to get a bit annoyed. Whereas if I change the order every month, it might mean that whatever is number 6 next month and doesn't come out is fine, but the Dreaming may do. Whether or not at some point I will stop doing a draw like this and just keep them as is, I don't know. So number 3 is going to be Warm Winter Woolens. Number 4 Bar Humbug. Keep pulling out 2. Number 5 is going to be Sun Dragon. Number 6 is going to be the Snowman. Number 7 is going to be the Dreaming. So 8 and 9. Number 8 is going to be Winter Bear. So number 9 should be Aventail. There we go. Number 9, Aventail. So there we go. That's the draw for my April temperature stitches. So by the time I come back to you on the 6th, I should have, well, not should have, I will have progress for you. Some from this month and then some from next month. So now, if you don't want to stay for the stash enhancement, that's fine. Bye. I'll see you next time. Because I know some people don't like it. I personally don't mind it. And not often, but occasionally I will go, oh, I like that, and go and investigate it. So I've had my December fabric from Fabrics by Crafty Kate. That's arrived. I get a 36 count linen, 13 by 18 piece. The back end of last year was not good for her, so went to Cheshirestitchers at the normal monthly meetup at the pub on the 14th of March, and Sally, Flossy Sews and Grows, was there, and she came to me and said thank you so much for all the beads, which was fine because she'd already thanked me for them, but her daughter had made one individual pin that she could only make the one of and sent it with a mum for me. Just that one. Isn't that beautiful? There was only one of these, I think. I think she said it was. But yeah, so she gifted me that as a little thank you. I also got a bag of Quality Street. They'd been given some Quality Street. So they'd put them into bags, and she sent me a bag of them, but, you know, chocolate didn't survive. You know what bag of what Quality Street looks like. Pardon me. I've had my Silks for You. So we have CM016, PR217, PR52, which is, you know, I'm using PR51 for Singing the Blues, and that's a really bright blue, and this is the one that's number 52. Perfect for if I'm doing something with water. Absolutely perfect. And my favourite one for this month is PR210, which is red and black. It's showing a bit brighter than it really is. That's better. So, market haul or market stash enhancement. I was very good this year. I, like so many other people, have got so much stash that I was like, I really don't want to buy anything unless it's something that is going to be like an exclusive kit that after that you can't get it anymore, which is what See How They Run was. Or it's a limited edition, you can only get it at market and then you're done. I didn't really bother because all the charts that have been released will still be around for the next 4 or 5 years. But I did buy the cookbook. I bought it for the first time last year thinking I'd see what all the fuss was about. Loved it last year, so I thought I've got to get the cookbook because once it's gone, it's gone. It's not going to be repeated. And I've had a look through it, and there are, is it 4? There's at least 4 that are sort of sewing themed. So I will, let me see if I can find a picture for one. I mean, this isn't, but you've got every day is a new start. And then that one, Give Me the Simple Life. There's one with a bee skep on it that I'm going to do. There's one for, you know, the little sleds, the Foxwood Crossing sleds. But there is also a lot of America birthday ones, which obviously have no interest to me. But there are at least 4. So, and this is one of them. This is from the Antique Needleworkers Tomato House. Well, to me, that counts as a sewing themed. So, there's quite a few that I will be doing. So, see, I can't. The one I'm definitely going to do is, if you've got it, it's on page 12. It's from Violets and Verses. Be Creative. It's got a bee skep with a sort of a pin cushion on the top and a needle. So that's going to be one of my, well, it might be a 26 in 26, or it might be a 28 in 28. I'll mention it now, but obviously it's only March. Next year, I'm not going to do a 27 in 27. I'm going to do a year of samplers with my friend Lois. We both have a lot of samplers, so I'm going to do a year of samplers. I had a message off Stitchy Sally a couple of weeks back. She said, you mentioned you might be interested in buying this chart. Do you still want it? I said, yes, please. So I can now go to 123 and take it off my wish list. I loved it when she was stitching it. Absolutely adore it. It's gorgeous. So, yeah, I got that. I'm quite looking forward to being able to make a start on that. I think one of the ones in here that I'll be doing, if I can find it, I think if I remember rightly, the Teresa Kogut one, which I can't see at the minute. I think that was one that I will be definitely be doing, but I can't see it. Can't see it listed, and no, I can't see it listed, but I will definitely be doing the Teresa Kogut one. And I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't read it properly. So, but yeah, as I say, there's at least 4 in there. Sorry, I went back to that. Now, I've had a wander around one of the charity shops in town and picked up this. Now, I've done a rough check, but my thought was with this that Sun Dragon, I can put Sun Dragon on there. And like I say, I've done, because he isn't fully finished, but it looks like he will fit on there quite nicely, so I can mount him on some board and put him on there. And in the same charity shop, I picked up this little piece of marquetry. Now, it's a nice piece of marquetry, but I was thinking I can cover that, and then I've got a nice dark background for a piece of stitching. Now, remember I said I went to Chester? I went in Primark because I needed some new leggings. I would rather spend £3 on a pair of leggings from Primark for scruffy around the house. So if I spill bleach on them, I've spent £3 on a pair of leggings. I've got bleach all over them, they need to go in the bin, rather than a more expensive pair. So while I was there, I had a wander around, because I always have a look at the t-shirts, because you never know. And I got a t-shirt. Now you're going to be thinking, what's that got to do with stitching? Well, look, it's all done in crosses. So I thought, yeah, I've got to have that. I'm not bothered about what it actually says. It was just the fact that it's got cross stitch on it. So, yeah, I got a new t-shirt from Primark because it's got cross stitch on it. Saturday, as I've said, was the extra stitching day at Helsby, and I'd been talking to one of the fellow attendees last month at the normal meetup about the red box, and that there was one of the red box ones that I was definitely going to sell because I didn't like it, or there was no way I was ever going to do it. And she said, I'm the same. I've got some that I've either stitched or from, I think she said All Things Bright and Beautiful box, that she doesn't like. So she'd bring them with her if I was interested. So she sent me pictures and I'm like, yes, I'll have that one. So I got that one. Like I say, I'm not sure if it's from the All Things Bright and Beautiful box or if it's one she's stitched, but I like that. May leave off the outer border though, because one of the other ones she was looking to rehome was a religious one, and I don't really do religion. The alphabet is all done in Algerian islets. Well, I will sub and use Smyrna crosses instead. I don't like the Algerian islets. Not that amount anyway. I don't mind the odd one. And then the other one, what's this one? Now, if you go to Lynn, the Lancashire Stitcher, she has some photos at the end of her video of some of the finishes, and this one was one of the finishes. And then that, I was brought up not to bend books. That's the other one. So this is the needlework of Jessie Anderson and her daughter Jessie Gay, sorry. So yeah, so I bought them. And then we had D-Stash. And actually, I was actually quite good on the D-Stash. And there was quite a few things that went, oh, I like that, oh, I like that. But I actually only bought that one. Drawn thread, warm hearts. So, apparently it's got Medici wool in it. But it just tells you to use, just substitute DMC floss. Well, that's fine, I can do that. So that was all I bought off the D-Stash. Fabrics by Crafty Kate was there, and I'd been and I had a route through, and I saw that. And once I'd finished spring, I'm sitting there and I'm going, do you know what, actually, this was talking to me. So I bought that off Fabrics from Crafty Kate because it looks a bit like a sunflower. I will not be using, it calls for Pirate and Robin, Harvest Gold. Never even heard of them as a dyer. I'll just find something in my stash that's the sort of correct colour. So that was what I bought. And then there was a freebie table. Now, I've picked up a couple of other things for Jeanette, but I don't need to show you those. So, and there was all sorts on it, and I mean all sorts. There was some spools, which I haven't grabbed, but you know what a wooden spool looks like. So I grabbed some spools. They had another, there was a little project box. Just and like I said in my last video, at one time you got really nice gifts with magazines, cross stitch collection. I thought, you know what, actually I've been thinking I need to look and buy one of the small boxes, the small bobbin thread boxes for a project. Well, that one will work just absolutely fine. And that was on the freebie table. French Country Rabbit. And then a Honey of a Frill. That's got a sunflower on it. I can't remember if I've got Honey Tiny Town or not. And then the last thing was a little project bag. Vinyl fronted. Well, I've got 2 or 3 sort of little projects that I've only got 2 small bags. So I thought I'd have that because I thought that was quite pretty. As I say, I did pick up some other stuff for Jeanette and for her granddaughter. But that is it. I don't think I've missed anything other than the spools. But like I say, you know what a spool looks like. So that's it, we're done. Another long one. So I will be back Easter Monday, 6th of April, unless my partner's day off is changed, which they do sometimes. They will message and they will go, we're short of drivers on this day, is there any chance you could swap your day off? So he's only allowed to work 6 days, so they could swap it for a Thursday or so a Friday or a Saturday, so he would work 5 days and he'd have Saturday off but work the Sunday, you know. So yeah, as it stands at the moment, it will be the 6th of April. So until then, thank you for watching. If you're new or you're coming back for the umpteenth time and haven't done it yet, please do think about hitting that subscribe button for me. I would love it if you did. I'm 35. I've got 965, so I'm 35 people away, pardon me, from 1,000 subs. So there we go. That would be really nice if you could do that for me. But until then, 6th of April, take care of yourselves. Have a nice Easter. What Easter? Easter and Christmas, the 2 times of year where you're allowed chocolate for breakfast. It's in the rules. It is. It was in my rule book anyway. So I will see you on the 6th of April. Until then, take care of yourselves. Enjoy your stitching. Bye.